Italy's iGaming market. It's one of the absolute giants in Europe, but right now it's standing on the edge of a massive shakeup. A huge regulatory overhaul is coming in 2025, and it's going to completely redraw the map, making the price of admission higher than it's ever been. So the big question is, what's it actually going to take to get through these new rules and make a mark in one of the world's toughest betting markets?
Okay, let's start with what everyone's fighting for, the prize. By 2025, Italy's online gross gaming revenue is set to rocket past 5.5 billion euros. Now that is not just a number on a spreadsheet. It's a sign of a massive, super engaged player base with a culture of betting that goes way back. It's a target that's just too big, too valuable to ignore.
So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down for you. First, we'll get a feel for just how big the market is. Then, we'll take a quick trip back in time before we dive into the really big challenges, the crazy high cost of getting in, and the web of super strict rules. And finally, we'll put it all on the scales and answer that one big question. Is Italy really worth the gamble?
You see, unlike a lot of newer markets, Italy actually offers stability. It's mature, it's very structured, and it's well-regulated. And what that means is, operators aren't just stepping into the Wild West here. You're entering a system that's pretty predictable, with clear rules and a huge audience that is already totally bought into online betting.
Now, it's really easy to look at all these strict Italian regulations and just see a bunch of roadblocks, but, they do something else that's absolutely crucial. For the players, all this heavy regulation basically acts like a big stamp of trust. It builds an environment where people feel safer to play, and that, in the end, is what drives more engagement and creates real long-term value.
To really get a handle on the market today, you've got to look back. I mean, way back. Italy's relationship with gambling goes all the way from the back rooms of ancient Rome to the high-tech, highly regulated digital world we see today.
And this journey literally spans centuries. Think about it. All the way back in 1530, the state was already running lotteries. Fast forward to 1948, and physical casinos get the official green light. But the modern era, that really kicks off in 2006 when the Bersani law blew the doors open for online operators. Then came a huge pivot in 2018 with the Dignity Decree, a total ban on advertising that we'll definitely get into in a bit.
And that brings us to the first massive hurdle for anyone new trying to get in, the gauntlet. Because under this new 2025 framework, the financial wall you have to climb is about to get a whole lot higher. So the main event of this new framework is a one-time licensing fee of 7 million euros. That is a gigantic leap from the old system, and it's a really clear message from the regulators. Italy is now a playground exclusively for serious, well-funded operators.
So what do you get for that 7 million euro investment? Well, operators get a license that's good for a full 9 years, and that provides some seriously crucial long-term stability. It lets businesses that can actually afford that huge price tag plan and build for the long haul, without worrying about renewing their license all the time.
But the costs don't stop with the license fee, not by a long shot. Operators are also looking at some of the highest tax rates in all of Europe on their gross gaming revenue. We're talking 24% tax for sports betting, and that climbs to 25% for online casinos. These rates are a massive factor in how profitable you can be and have to be at the center of any financial plan.
And wait, there's more. After you've paid that GGR tax, you've still got more annual fees based on your net revenue. 3% goes to a concession fee, and another 0.2% has to be invested directly into responsible gambling programs. So it's a constant financial drain that goes way beyond that initial license and the taxes. But look, money is only half the battle. If you can survive the financial gauntlet, you then have to master the playbook. And that is a complex, really demanding regulatory environment where every little detail matters. A lot.
All right, maybe the single biggest challenge you'll face is the Decreto Dignità, the Dignity Decree. This isn't just a rule, it's a total ban on all advertising and sponsorships. I mean, everything. No TV commercials, no online banner ads, no logos on soccer jerseys. If you want to grow here, you can't just throw money at ads. You have to be a master of things like SEO, content, and affiliate marketing.
And the compliance checklist, it's long. You have to prove you've got at least 2 years of experience in another European market. You have to set up a physical office in Italy. You have to host your servers locally so they can be monitored. And on top of all that, you need absolutely rock-solid systems for everything from player safety and data protection to anti-money laundering. It's a huge framework, and it's designed to make sure only the strongest businesses can even operate.
So, who's enforcing all of this? Well, the main gatekeeper is the Agenzia delle Dogane e dei Monopoli, or ADM. They're Italy's main regulatory body. They control everything, from handing out licenses and checking for compliance to slapping on penalties.
For any operator, your journey in Italy is going to begin and end with the ADM.
Working right alongside the ADM, you've got the Guardia di Finanza. These are Italy's financial police, and their job is to enforce those really strict anti-money laundering rules. They do it through audits and investigations all across the industry.
And finally, you have the Autorità per le Garanzie nelle Comunicazioni, AGCOM for short. Think of them as the official ad watchdog. They're the ones scanning the market for anyone who breaks that total advertising ban, and they have the power to hand out some very, very big fines.
So, all of this brings us to the final verdict. We've seen the huge potential of the market, right? But we've also seen the massive financial and regulatory mountains you have to climb. So let's actually weigh the pros against the cons and figure out if Italy is truly worth the gamble. The trade-offs here are pretty stark. On one hand, the advantages are obvious. A giant growing player base, a stable system, and tons of people gaming on their phones. But on the other hand, the disadvantages are just as powerful. Incredibly high taxes, that crippling ad ban, the massive license fee, and all those strict operational rules. It is the absolute definition of a high-risk, higher-reward situation.
When it comes right down to it, succeeding in the Italian market boils down to three things. You need deep pockets to get over the financial hurdles, you need operational perfection to meet all the compliance demands, and you need a truly creative marketing strategy to grow without ads. So the playbook is in your hands. The only real question left is, are you ready to play?